man whose arrest incited mob fury in Paramkudi is released. Madras High Court asks the police why John Pandian was arrested. And here's the troubled tragedy of the police mob clash in Paramkudi. A man preparing for his wedding now prepares for his father's funeral. After 4-year-old Sudarshan took a lethal fall into a disused pit in Trinalveli. Today in Chennai, an 8-year-old dies by falling into a pit. 100 megawatts, over 8,000 people, the indefinite fast of villagers against the Kudankulam nuclear plant. The good news for MBBS aspirants in Tamil Nadu, the intake of students at the medical colleges in Kilpauk and Chengalpet is set to increase. A case of fence-eating crop, a sub-inspector and house guard allegedly misbehaved with a female BPO employee. They are now put behind bars. Amma lends a motherly touch to expected mothers below the poverty line, doubles aid from 6 to 12,000 rupees. And gets set for a different trip, says Jiva, ahead of his upcoming project where he plays a middleweight boxer.
I'm a boxer in the film, so it's a very good travel. I'm a boxer, but I'm a middleweight champion in the film.
Good evening, you're watching Headlines now with me, Ashmit Kumar. Time now for the latest stories coming in from across the country. The Taliban target the US Embassy and the NATO headquarters in Kabul. Helicopters are scrambled to take out the terrorists holed up in a building. LK Advani's Yatra not serious about corruption, says Anna Hazare. He says that if they are serious, let them start by taking up the Lokayukta in their states. In Pakistan's Peshawar city, unidentified gunmen attack a school van, shoot down 5 children. Intelligence agencies warn Maharashtra's Chhatrapati Airport can be attacked by small planes or a helicopter. The most violent movement is the left-wing violence, not terrorism, says the Home Minister P. Chidambaram. Amar Singh to spend another night in hospital. The judge says the court will decide on his bail after his medical report is submitted. No bail for Janardha Reddy and brother-in-law Srinivas Reddy in the Obulapuram mining case. Well, first up in updates from Ramanathapuram. After mob fury ran riot in Paramkudi, the man whose arrest sparked off the violence, Dalit leader John Pandian, has been released. Now, he was released in the morning. He was arrested in Valanadu on Saturday while proceeding towards Paramkudi. Now, following his arrest, riots broke out in Paramkudi and Madurai. 6 people were killed in the police firing. Meanwhile, a habeas corpus petition was filed in the Madras High Court regarding John Pandian's arrest. Now, John Pandian has been released this morning and he was restrained from visiting Ramanathapuram. Now, when the habeas corpus petition was taken up in the court, the public prosecutor informed the court that he was released. The court issued notice to the Home Secretary, the DGP and the SP of Tuticorin seeking the answers as to why Pandian was arrested in the first place, and they have 2 weeks to respond. And well, in a tragic tale that captures the human face of the victims of mob violence and the police firing, this man whom you're about to see was preparing to celebrate his wedding. Now instead, it's his father's funeral that the family will be attending. A bullet hit Guna Sekran's father while he was out distributing invitation cards for his son's wedding. In fact, my colleague also got in touch with, of course, the stakeholders there, and this is what they had to say.
This incident has brought back memories of the communal riots in southern Tamil Nadu in the early 90s, in which more than 100 people were murdered. Chief Minister Jayalalitha has ordered a probe and has revived an old system of peace committees to bring about communal harmony.
Well, moving ahead now, Paramkudi appears to be limping back to normalcy and the tension in the area appears to have subsided, at least for now. The police maintained a tight vigil as last rites of the 6 dead took place last night, and so far no untoward incidents have been reported. Now, students were seen trekking back to schools and the shops too were open for business. Now, bus services have resumed. However, the authorities are not letting their guard down. The ban on unlawful assembly under Section 144 is still in force. Now, the police has arrested 20 people and filed cases against around 1,000 unidentified people. Chief Minister Jayalalitha has ordered a probe by a retired High Court judge into the police firing after the mobs went berserk. Well, here's yet another tragic tale from the city this time. An 8-year-old girl child, Gayatri, drowned after she fell into an open pit filled with water at Krishnanagar in Tambaram. Now, the pit was reportedly dug up by the Metro Water Supply and Sewerage Board to construct a sewage treatment tank. At about 7:30 in the morning, Gayatri was brushing her teeth close to the pit. She slipped and fell right into the pit, of course, due to loose gravel. About half an hour later, her parents frantically started searching for their daughter and found her floating in the pit. Now, they immediately rushed the girl to the Krompet Government Hospital, where she was declared dead on arrival. Now, Gayatri was a class 4 student at a government school in Old Perungalatur. Tambaram police have registered a case under section 174 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Now, the post-mortem report is still awaited. This is the second such incident in many months in Chennai.
காலை 7 மணிக்கு எழுந்தா டீ பிஸ்கெட் குடிச்சா குளிக்க பல்லு தேய்க்க வந்தா ஆளே காண நான் இங்க அங்க எல்லா இடமும் தேடி பார்த்துட்டு நான் சாதம் வடிக்கணுமே 8:45 போனேன். அது வரைக்கும் குழந்தைய காணுமே எங்க அக்கா வீட்டு பசங்களை விட்டு இறக்குனேன். சந்தேகமா தான் நானே இறக்கி விட்டேன். அவனுக்கு தான் இறங்கி தூக்குனானுங்க.
அது குழந்தை வந்து பல்லு லெட்டின்னு நின்றுது. ஸ்கூல் போனோம், டைம் ஆயிடுச்சு, காணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு தேடி இருக்காங்க. தேடின குழந்தை சரி இங்கே பல்லு வலிட்டு இருந்தது, அது எதுக்கும் அங்கே போய் பார்க்கலான்னு சொல்லிட்டு பக்கத்தில் சொந்தக்காரில் இருக்காங்க, போய் பார்த்துருக்காங்க, காணோம். இங்கே தானே நின்றுட்டு இருந்தது, வந்து பார்த்துருக்காங்க, மண் சறுக்கு இருக்குது, இந்த இடத்துல மண் சறுக்கு இருக்குது, அதனால் குழந்தை எதுக்கும் பாருங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு உள்ளே 2 பேர் இறங்கிருக்காங்க. குழந்தைக்கு அண்ணன் தான் இறங்கினாங்க. இறங்கி உள்ளே பார்க்கும்போது குழந்தை இருக்குது.
Well, in fact, these developments, my colleague, in fact, tried to capture a sense of course, the sequence of events that led to this tragic development.
This is 8-year-old Gayatri's house. Now, early in the morning at around 7:30, she stepped out to brush her teeth at this location. Now, this is a sewage treatment tank which is being built by the Tamil Nadu Sewage Supply and Water Supply and Sewage Board, which was subleased to a contractor. Now, locals say that the construction of this tank was completed about a month ago, but due to incessant rains for the past 1 month, the area which was dug up for the construction was filled up with water. Now, so early in the morning when Gayatri was brushing her teeth, she was standing at the edge of the soil, edge of this platform. Now, as you can see, the soil is very loosely connected. So as a result, while she was brushing her teeth, she slipped and fell directly into the water. Now, her parents realized that Gayatri was missing for about half an hour, and when they came out, they found that her child was floating on the water. Now, they immediately took her daughter to the Krompet General Hospital, but the hospital authorities said that it was too late and pronounced her dead. Now, the post-mortem report is being awaited and the probe is on. In Chennai, with camera person Raja Singh, this is Krishnamurthy for NDTV Hindu.
Well, in updates now coming in from the Tamil Nadu Assembly today, it was the turn of the Health Ministry to inject a fresh dose of SOPs. Now, the Tamil Nadu government has now doubled the aid given to pregnant women from 6,000 rupees to 12,000 rupees. This will cost the exchequer 596 crore rupees. Now, of course, moving ahead now, there were more updates, more SOPs coming the way of people. The government also announced the upgrading of ambulances and also of establishing 385 mobile hospitals with state-of-the-art technology at a cost of 40 crore rupees. Now, to match the state's 108 ambulance service, the government has decided to set up specially equipped jeeps which can travel in the hilly areas as well, which will function like the 108 service. Now, it was also good news for students aspiring to get into medical colleges next year, as an increase in intake of MBBS students in the Kilpauk and Chengalpet medical colleges was also announced. Well, in a clear case of fence eating the crop, 2 policemen who allegedly harassed and misbehaved with girls working in a BPO firm have been arrested by the Chennai police. Now, 30-year-old Ayappan, a sub-inspector, and 28-year-old Anbu, a home guard, reportedly made a forced entry into the house of 2 girls who are staying alone in Sembiam 10 days back. Now, threatening to go to the book, take these girls to the book on charges of prostitution. The men in khaki also demanded a bribe of 5,000 rupees. At the crack of dawn the same day, the girls preferred a complaint with the Sembiam police. Now, as no action was initiated, the victims lodged a complaint with the J.K. Tripathi, the Greater Chennai Commissioner of Police. Now, after preliminary investigations, the police arrested the accused 2 policemen. They have been produced before the local court and now have been lodged in the Pural prison.
As soon as they found out we were only 2 girls living together in the house, they started to misbehave. They were checking all our clothes, all our handbags, asking do we have condoms inside our bags, checking all our movie CDs, asking if we watch any blue films or porn videos or something, checking all our clothes, pulling out clothes, all personal clothes from our cupboards, stating what do you have and all that, and started almost literally touching us to say do you have friends? I'll also want to be your friend. I'll come anytime I want. If you don't let me in, or if you don't attend my call, I'll put a case. They started threatening like this. We were literally crying.
Well, up on the other side, it's the gates of 1,000 megawatts, over 8,000 people as they undertake an indefinite protest. We bring you more details on the other side.